Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Inside Major League Pickleball, where we discuss all the scoops surrounding the hottest professional pickleball league in the game. Before we get to our amazing guests, a quick shout out to our sponsors, starting with Pro XR, the official paddle of MLP, the only paddle custom fit for your grip. Knock Around, the official sunglasses of MLP, quality shades that won't break the bank. Or Organic, the official nutrition partner of MLP. Transform your health with plant-based nutrition from Aura. And Franklin, the official ball of MLP. The Franklin X40 delivers the best in-game flight out of any ball on the market. Let's get this thing started. I'm your host, one of your hosts, Michelle McMahon, former Division I volleyballer, current sports broadcaster, pickleball addict, aren't we all? Joined by my counterpart, as always this week, Father Nature, pickleball fashionista, four-time Survivor contestant. He was a college swimmer, former pro cyclist, Tyson Apostle. We're missing Casey Patterson this week, our other resident mullet on the show, but he sends his best regards to us this week on the podcast, and we're thrilled now to be joined by the director of officiating at MLP this week to get all the scoop on what's coming up with Major League Pickleball, Courtney Johnson. Courtney, thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have you this week. I love to start these episodes with everyone's individual story to pickleball, because there always is a unique draw for whatever position of life you're in, for whatever joy it sparks in your individual story. So for you, what drew you to pickleball? What's your path to what you're doing now?
Well, first of all, thank you all so much for having me on. I am a pickleball podcast junkie, and the MLP podcast is at the top of my list. I've listened to all of the episodes, so I'm really excited to be on here.
Thank you.
Okay,
love that.
We're just going to softball these questions now after that compliment.
All right, well, that was a good podcast.
Nothing hard.
We'll wrap it up.
Nothing just. That's it.
Thanks for coming. See you guys.
My origin story. So, Michelle, like you, I have a volleyball background. So I have no racket or paddle sport background at all.
But you know how to hit balls hard. That's the thing I've learned about volleyball players.
Oh, yeah. Those overhands, that's natural.
That's insane.
That's super natural.
Because the net's below us. Like, we're not used to that. We're used to, like, reaching up and trying, well, except if you're Casey Patterson, because he's above the net. But for us, like, having the net below us is, like, such a luxury. Sorry, not to cut you off. Continue.
No, it was super exciting to transition to pickleball. So I first discovered pickleball back in 2012. I was staying at home with my daughter. She was 2 at the time. I was enjoying the stay-at-home mom life, and we were going to our local rec center every day. So I'm trying to get in shape on the treadmill. Boring.
Sounds so boring.
Boring. Luckily, the treadmill was on the second level, and it looked down over the gym floor. And I saw this group of adorable little 70-somethings playing pickleball, and I'm like, What is that? That looks way more fun than what I'm doing. So I tootle on downstairs. I walk up to them and say, "Hey, what are y'all doing? This looks a lot of fun." And the rest is history. The rest is history. They sucked me in, and I couldn't quit playing.
So fun.
Yeah.
So
that's how we all get roped in, right?
Right. I mean, we all start as a player. So, and then, so that was back in 2012. And then in 2017, when Texas started having more and more tournaments, and I was, going to tournaments, and some of them were just taking a long time. And so I asked the tournament director, I'm like, why am I spending 2 or 3 hours between matches? This is crazy. And they said, "Hey, we're real sorry, but we just don't have enough referees." And I was like, "Okay, well, put me in, coach. Like, let's get this thing going." And so I learned how to referee. I took a couple of classes from some local Texas refs, and I was like, "Oh, I can do this. I kind of like this." And so that's how I started officiating, and basically just to help out my local tournaments. And then I figured out they actually paid me. Like, I can make $5 for reffing a match. So one of my goals was to ref enough matches to earn back my tournament entry fee, and I broke even.
So you're playing at the tournaments that you're also reffing.
Yeah. So not now. Nowadays, It's too hard to ref and play. But yeah, I would play in my division. And then once I lost, I was like, oh well, now I'll go make some money. And then I would just switch into ref mode and go make some money.
Okay. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I love that.
So would you... Early days then, when you decided that was something you were going to do, did you still prefer playing to reffing, or is there do you enjoy both of them equally? Like, I have officiated some cycling events in the past that were small and local, and I could have participated as well as officiated, but the balance was too difficult for me. I found that I was then having to put not as much energy into both of them. So the experience was subpar on both sides. So I would not race in any of those small events. I'd just officiate and make sure that everything went smoothly. Thoughts there?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Same wavelength. So early on, I could, back before I became a certified referee and I really nerded out on reffing. I like to do go play and then jump into reffing. Now I really do enjoy just going to tournaments and officiating. I've been through my obsession phase is what I call it. I think we all go through it.
Yeah.
Where you travel an hour, go play for 5 hours, and then come home just a zombie. Just one more game, just one more game. I think we've all been through that. So I've kind of been through that phase, and now it's like, I'll just go ref at this tournament and, support my friends if I'm not reffing, in my downtime. But no, now I'm just in ref mode, I guess you could say.
So I'm going to put Casey Patterson's hat on here for a second.
Okay.
Supporting your friends as a ref at a tournament.
No, in my downtime.
Well, I'm just saying, pickleball is a sport.
Yes.
Where there is human error involved. What are there players that in general are allowed a little bit more, like you see it in the NBA, you see it in this, either someone who's super personable, things like that? Does that at all come into play? Not with in general in the sport, and not even on purpose? Is that subconsciously something that oh, okay, this guy's always a straight shooter, he's never making wrong calls, I'm just going to believe him?
Well, hopefully that's me. When I'm in ref mode, I don't care if we're best friends or if you're my mom or dad. I wouldn't officiate my parents anyways, but when I'm in ref mode, it's like I'm a different person.
Okay.
I don't care if you're Tyson Apostle. I'm calling you on every single football.
Even me?
Even you. It's just at this point, my brain is wired.
Okay.
If I see a foot fault, there's no lag. It's just fault.
Yeah.
Right there. He did it.
This kind
so,
of
no, it's immediate.
Okay. Casey, you heard it here. Courtney is not cutting you any slack, bud.
No slack.
None. Zero. Zilch.
Yep.
This kind of segues us perfectly to the next topic. What's the hardest part about being a referee? So you have the background, obviously, as a player. You've been to many tournaments. You've officiated at the top of the sport. What's the biggest challenge, you'd say?
I would say the biggest challenge is just dealing with some spicy players, some feisty ones out there. Let's be honest. It's a competition. It's a sport. You have adrenaline pumping. There are going to be some players that are not going to like your fault call.
Yeah.
I had one guy who argued with me on a foot fault on an attempted Ernie that he had. And he wanted to argue, and the one of the biggest challenges about
For
being
the
a
record,
referee
was not me.
No, it wasn't. It was not. I will verify that.
Yes, thank you, Courtney. I know people in the audience are going to be like, that was Tyson, and now she's taking a little extra at him. Not me.
Not Tyson.
There are some spicy players sitting right next to me in this podcast. But
Okay.
I mean,
not to name
we
names,
do have
but
well, and we do have the feistiest ginger in the game, Michelle.
that's
true.
I have gotten into it with a ref before, I will say, but it was a bad call.
Okay, well,
Like with
this
you,
call-
Courtney, I trust your eyeballs, but there are some that, I'm like, listen, you just didn't see that correctly. Like that ball was so, hey, it's evolved. It's come a long way.
like Tyson said, we're human. We make errors. Not all refs are perfect. And, I want to do my very best for my players that I'm officiating for. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to stay focused and do a great job for my players. So dealing with feisty players, I think having a good demeanor, a referee with a good demeanor and the ability to communicate clearly and efficiently with people and not, feed into an argument. I think that's a really, really great quality, can't speak, in a referee. So being able to enforce the rules and then squash any rising tempers and get your game back on track, that's probably one of the hardest parts about reffing.
So do you, let's go back to this guy that foot faulted on the Ernie.
Yeah.
How did you handle it?
Well, very easily, because the foot fault was right on the sideline, literally right in front of me. I said fault, and then you quickly followed up with the result of the rally, side out. And so I was established. He starts going off on me. I was established. You refs don't know what you're talking about. I said, you landed on the non-volley zone. That's a side out. And I looked over to the opponents, made sure they had the ball, and made sure the receiving team, he saw that I was moving on quickly and I wasn't engaging in his argument. And so he got back on the court. Once he was ready, I called the score. And so we're not going to argue. I'm not here to argue with you. You're interrupting the flow of my game, buddy. Get back out there.
That's really strong.
But then afterwards, after the game was over, after the match was over, he came at me again. You don't know what you're talking about.
Whoa.
I said, it's called the non-volley zone. Then we go into hey, we're going to have a little pickleball rules lesson here, buckaroo.
Okay.
I said.
And you called him buckaroo? Because I think that's.
No, I don't think that would have settled down his temper. In my head, that's what I said.
Okay. Yeah.
I said, your takeoff was clean. I said, you were behind the non-volley zone. I said, when you made contact in the air and then you landed on the non-volley zone on the sideline. I said, that's a textbook fault. He started coming, he did not like any of my answers. And then, this was after the match was finished, I then had to go, you know what? I'm really impressed. I have never known a player that can hit the ball and watch their feet at the same time. I said, you're watching the ball and your feet at the same time? And his partner was standing right there. He started laughing, and I just walked off. I was like, okay, good. I said, he's not coming at me anymore. I said, that's just a mic drop moment.
That's a mic drop,
then
I was just going to say.
And then I had a lot of spectators that were like, I'm sorry, that guy, he was totally out of line. You made a great call. He's done that to other officials in the past. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. So there's just some people that are just spicy meatballs.
Spicy meatballs. I love it. You have to have a lot of confidence to be in your role, like really, like to not only make the right call, but then also to like stand up for yourself, because nobody else is going to have your back except maybe, I guess, the other team. But even then,
you're right. And I think that comes with, experience, and if you're confident with your rules knowledge, because if I was to go, you faulted. You stepped on the line. No. You're going to get eaten alive if that's how you call faults. When I call a fault, I'm not going to lie. I get into it. I point at it. I'm like, fault. I'm like, I got you.
Busted. Saw the fault.
Yes, exactly.
What's something that maybe looks easy to the rest of us on the outside looking in, but is actually hard?
Okay, a good referee can make officiating look easy, but it is not. I assure you, we have to look for a billion different things. So officiating in general is hard. But
so you're standing there. What are the things, like you're saying you're looking at a billion different things. What are the things you're looking at? And is there a hierarchy to those things that you're like paying stricter attention to, or that are the first things that catch your eye? I've got it right here. We've got a whole officiating handbook. This thing is not thin. So there is a list of things that we're looking for. Obviously, keeping the correct score, being loud enough for all of our players to hear it. Interpreting and enforcing the rules. There is a list. So obviously, our rules knowledge has to be solid. We're looking for the correct server, the correct receiver, making sure our players are in their correct positions, making sure all players are ready before we announce the score. So, and then doing all of that in a timely manner so that it doesn't interrupt the players and the flow of the match. That takes a lot of practice. And so a good referee can check receiver readiness and check for correct receivers in the correct positions, and then look over, check for server readiness and the correct server in the correct position, doing all of that in a timely manner and calling the score, the correct score. It takes practice, but it's not easy. I'm also a registered referee trainer, and I can't tell you how many times I have had a class of referees and they've gone through the whole class and they go, wow, this is a lot more than I thought. Or this is harder than I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. So just like with anything, you get better with practice. Yeah, that's how my college experience was.
It's hard.
Yeah. They told me in high school that only like 10% of high school graduates graduate college. I was like, I'm going to prove that stat wrong so quickly. Go to college. I was like, oh, it is hard, but not for the reasons I thought it was hard. And not for me.
Hey, college isn't for everyone.
That's true.
I enjoyed college, but I'm a nerd.
I liked college too, but probably for different reasons.
Well, just to tell you a little bit about me, I didn't miss a single college class. I'm the
same way.
I didn't like to miss class. I didn't want to miss anything or get behind.
Yep.
So yeah.
I like color-coded
I was the
notes.
opposite.
I would take notes, I would write them out, then I would type them back up.
Nice.
Give me 2 days at the end of the semester and I'll catch up as much as I can. And then we'll just go from there.
This does not surprise me. We got
No.
We'll just go from there. We're going to do it live. 2 days. 2 days.
Yeah, we got 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
So we, as viewers and even as players, you see that there's the classic argument of vantage point determining whether or not a ball is in or out. As a ref, standing on one side, do you calculate for that vantage point when looking for a call, or because that vantage point isn't optimal, do you just default to what the players have called?
Well, certainly. So the sideline closest to the ref is not. We don't have the best vantage on that sideline.
But you're familiar with geometry, so
the players on the court have the best vantage point.
Right.
Okay. So that's why referees, we don't call the ball. That's the player's responsibility. Okay. Right. So, and would y'all agree, goodness gracious, line calling is like the most controversial thing in pickleball. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say?
It really is, but I've got a solution.
Ooh, let's hear it.
It's going to take billions and billions of dollars.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Okay,
Mark
easy.
Cuban's in on it now,
Easy.
so let's just.
There's a couple routes we could go.
Okay.
We've got the court that's inside the lines, including the lines. Make that of the same surface that it currently is. Outside of those lines, do some type of bounce dampening the stuff that once the ball hits outside of the lines anywhere, it's not taking a bounce.
Oh.
Interesting.
But it has to be a surface that you can still move on seamlessly from the court to off the court type of deal. But I think that you could do something like that. And that way, if it doesn't take a bounce at all, you know that it was out of bounds.
That's
a good idea.
A really interesting recommendation.
Really? You like it?
Oh my gosh, I kind of do. Is there any other sport that has that or utilizes that kind of idea or technology?
I don't think so. Tennis could utilize it too.
God, Tyson, come on. $1 billion
I'm an ideas
idea
guy.
Right there.
I know.
$1 billion
Patent
idea.
pending, everyone.
Shark Tank, here he
I love
comes.
Yeah. So I was going to go a different route and just be like, you just need like an RFD sensor in every ball like they have at Topgolf. And then you just need like a border around the outside of the line. And then you can see, like, at Topgolf, they can show you exactly where your ball hits on the course.
That's awesome. I've only been to Topgolf like once or twice.
Yeah.
They could at
maybe I
least
need
do
to
that
check
at
that
like
out.
tournaments with like, I don't know, like the MLP tournaments that are worth the most, and then like implement it with the pros if they're trying to do like sample size market, and then do those courts that way, and then kind of spread it from there. I like that idea.
Are you guys ever shocked by my brilliance?
I am, especially knowing your college background. No wonder you and Bill
Courtney
Gates
says
alike.
no. Yes, exactly. There's a select few of
Who
us.
needs college? Who needs college
Hey.
anyways? And you're filled with ideas like those.
I'm learning that, Tyson, you're a good resource. If I ever have like a stuck on an idea and I need an ideas person,
Yeah.
hey, your phone number's in my contact list now.
Yes, I am definitely an ideas guy. Like that's like my strong suit. I just need a team of like 1,000 people around me to execute all of my ideas. Otherwise, they just eventually get lost.
And fizzle out. Yeah. We need to execute these.
Yeah, we need some doers as well as me as a thinker.
Yes. I like it. Well,
I love it.
Maybe one day we'll have, like tennis, like the camera system and it's just going to take money and time.
That's okay. Yeah.
But I think one day pickleball will get there.
I think so too. Is there anything that you wish was different in roughing? Like that you could change?
Actually, yeah. So there's 2 major tours, and then you have MLP, which is, unique in its own. There's nothing else like it.
Correct.
So APP uses all of the USA Pickleball rules, and so referees know what to expect. PPA in the amateur division, they use all the USA Pickleball rules. But then in the pro divisions, they've kind of messed with some stuff. So I know, and then you've got MLP, we use rally scoring, we do things even a little more different, but just consistency across the board it would make it easier on referees so that we just had one set of rules to implement, one set of guidelines to follow. It would alleviate a lot of referees' stress if there was just consistency across the board.
So we understand why MLP is different because the format is different, the team is different, we have the rally scoring, all of those things. Why is PPA pro level different? Are they implementing things they think make the game better at the pro level, or?
I think so, and I think they also take player feedback, like pro feedback. So I think just a combination of the owners of the league, the head referee for the league, and the players, and they're a non-sanctioned tournament, so they can, tweak the rules as they see fit or as they like. So,
Okay.
yeah.
If you could change a rule, what would it be?
I'm a rule follower. I'm not I'm not like a complainer. I'm not a person that like judges the rules or reads it and be like, no, that needs to be different. I'm not an ideas person like you, Tyson. I just like to follow the rules.
Okay.
You give me a set of rules, I'm going to follow them.
She's the doer.
If
She's the doer to your
I am the
ideas.
doer.
We need some. We need you, Courtney.
I am the doer. But if
You
there
guys would be a
was
good
one
team.
thing I could change, yeah, see, that's part of the team, you guys. Just put me in there. If there was one thing I could change in the pre-match briefing, when the referee comes out and we do the coin toss. So in a traditional coin toss, in MLP, we have the addition of being able to choose home or away. But in just regular pickleball, the winner of the coin toss gets to choose serve, receive, or what end they want to start on. They also get to defer. So they actually have 4 options: serve, receive, end, or defer. Let's take out defer. Why do we need that? It hasn't always been in there. I don't know why they added it. Just freaking choose serve, receive, or end. So let's just take out defer. That's my one thing. Just take it out.
I mean, you're going to end up with some of those options anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't matter to you too much, just choose one and move on.
Yep. Exactly.
With the nuances of the rules, what we were talking about just a couple of questions ago, with the most controversial being line calls, now we have the implementation of technology, of challenges. What's your vantage point of tech? Is it a disruptor in reffing and playing? Is it a big asset to you guys? Is it a distraction? What is your overall take on technology, where it's at now and where it could go in the future?
Well, we love technology. Let's be honest. Like our sport is just going to get more and more advanced with like cameras, and hey, one day you might see a referee out there with an iPad keeping score on an iPad. I just think it's the natural progression. At where we're at right now, I don't mind keeping score on a good old trusty piece of paper and a pencil. You know, it can't lose power. It can't freeze up on me. The worst thing that could happen would be maybe a broken pencil. That's all right. I keep a backup in my pocket. But I think one day you probably will see referees actually keeping score on technology. And if we could get some better cameras online, because let's be honest, the number one challenged thing, so like when you do a video challenge, it's usually on a line call. So if we could get some better camera angles so that our video review ref can clearly see that ball hit and say, yep, that was in, or yep, that was out, that would be amazing. I just think it would be easier on the players, easier on the referees, and just better for the sport.
So if we move, which we will move towards more technology, keeping score on an iPad, what percentage of refs could move seamlessly from a pad of paper and pencil to an iPad currently?
I don't know everyone's ability with technology.
Okay.
I could tell you right now, it would be easy for me.
Good. That's why you're head of officiating at MLP.
Yep. So I can't speak for the rest of the referees in the pickleball world, but hopefully, hey, I feel like most people are keeping up pretty good with technology nowadays. Let's be honest. Everyone has a smartphone.
Yeah.
And if you have a smartphone, you're halfway there.
Sure.
I mean, right?
I mean, I watch my parents use iPhones, and
is it struggle? They struggle a little bit.
I mean, I don't think they think they're struggling, but I could see that they're struggling.
Yeah, clearly. Well, at least they can operate the touchscreen. We tried to many years ago get my grandmother. She's passed away since, but get her to use a touchscreen. Y'all, she couldn't even. It was impossible.
Couldn't bring herself to even
impossible.
touch the screen.
Yeah, couldn't even do it.
Yeah.
So if you're able to navigate through a smartphone with a touchscreen, I think you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think you could probably get it.
Yeah.
Let's move to the MLP format here of rally scoring. And there's a lot of advantages to rally scoring, especially for what Major League Pickleball wants to do, which is popularize the sport, bring it to big audiences, and have people understand it pretty quickly. Is rally scoring easier to explain? And if you're explaining the game of pickleball, let's hear your explanation of rally scoring. Like, I'm new, brand new, never been here before. How are we playing this game?
Easy, Tyson. You win a rally, you get a point. Okay. Tyson, why don't you explain traditional side-out scoring to me?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Here's what happens. So first off, the first service, if you're playing doubles, if you serve first, you only get one serve. And it goes, you start on the right side, and it goes cross court to the right side. If you lose, it goes to the other team. But then if they lose their serve, then the other player gets a turn to serve on their side as well. And if you win that rally while you're serving, you get a point. But if not, if you're the first person that served on that team, then the ball goes to the second person that hasn't served yet. But if it was the second server, then it's side out and goes back to the other team. Very easy. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Very easy.
Let's be honest. We've all taught new people how to play pickleball.
Yeah.
The scoring is the hardest part. I mean, we're used to it because we've played for a while now, but explaining it is difficult. Why do we start out 0-0-2? I don't know.
And what is the third
why
number
do
mean?
people get
I'm like,
that's hard for people.
Yep.
And like, do we switch sides? So we started here, so I should serve there. Now I'm like, no, it's so hard to explain. I'm like, I can't find the logic here to meet you. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm a bad teacher.
And I'll tell you, 90% of the time, if you walk like you're going to switch sides on the court, like your teammate will just automatically switch. Like if you're just like, I'm going to be over here now. They're like, oh, we switched. And it's like, no, I was just walking around. I don't know what you're doing.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
we're just doing a little dance. No, I think we're all used to traditional pickleball scoring. It's what we're used to. It's what pickleball is. But let's be honest. If we want to grow the sport, you're all familiar with Steve's vision of 40 by 30. Mm-hmm. We want 40 million pickleball players by 2030. I think rally scoring is really going to help our sport.
Yeah.
And also it's easier to predict how long a game or a match is going to last with rally scoring. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that 1 game to 15 with rally scoring is going to take about 15 minutes. There you go. So, and I think it's better for production, mm-hmm. and it's much mm-hmm. easier to explain to new players.
Well, I know that even with the minor league pickleball event that they did, all of the players there were just like, it was incredible that you predicted when our next match would be at exactly this time. We knew when to be ready. We knew where to be. We knew all of that in advance and very quickly. And if we're going to be on TV in front of large audiences, we can't tell a major network that we're going to be somewhere between an hour and 6 hours. Like, they're not going to like that very much.
Exactly. Just a small window of 5 hours.
We could be done real quick, but we could also last 6 hours.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, that is literally TV's worst nightmare. It's like, the back end of production.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not even involved in broadcasting, but I can imagine that, like you said, it's like their worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you tried yelling at him? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe not a good idea.
Yeah. Stop. Why can't you just get it? When it's odd, you're in your non-starting position, and when you're even, you're in your starting position.
Yep.
It's math. Oh, the double bouncer.
Yeah.
So, Courtney, head of officiating at MLP.
Yes.
When I first heard of rally scoring and that it was going to be implemented in the very first Major League Pickleball event over a year ago, I thought if it's rally scoring, we don't need the double bounce. Do we still need the double bounce with rally scoring? Because my understanding of the double bounce was to give the returning team a little advantage over the serving team to win side out. But now if you can score a point on serve or on return, do you need
I think
double
so.
Bounce?
Yeah,
I actually think so too.
Yeah,
After I
think
tried
so.
playing it, I was like, it's too much power for the server at this point.
And it's just one of pickleball's unique little rules. You know, let's get a couple bounces in just to get the rally going, because pickleball's no one wants to watch the serving team ace a serve. You know, that's why we have underhand serve. Mm-hmm. We want to watch a rally. We want to get the rally going. Just seeing one shot, two shot done, that's boring. That's boring. No one wants to watch that.
You don't even want to play that.
It's exactly.
Yeah. Like, I don't even care if I lose the rally. If it's like 100-hit rally, I'm just happy to be part of it.
Same. It's so exciting when you have, a 30, 40, 50, 60 ball rally and you're like, man, we are awesome.
Yeah, we're so awesome. All four of us. Can you believe how awesome we are right now? That's exactly what I think too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, we're going to keep going on the serve in a little bit here, but back to rally scoring. We're going to be able to predict the time frame that every match is going to take. So it's going to be better for TV, which is going to be better for every single aspect of the game. It's going to bring a bigger audience, more eyeballs, which is going to bring more sponsors, which is going to bring more money for the players. And it's also going to make betting, which has been on the table for multiple years now. I know that they've talked about sports betting in pickleball. Hasn't happened yet, but all of these things are going to happen quicker with rally scoring because I think the game is simplified for the viewer.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, let's be honest, the sport is going to get bigger. It's natural for betting to come into play, and we just need to implement these things now so that it's easier in the future.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah.
Let's talk about real quick. There have been different formats in Major League Pickleball, and the first was that if you're on a team and you get to 20 points, because it's first to 21 rally scoring, win by 2, but at 20, it's no longer rally scoring.
Correct. You kind of, the leading team kind of freezes, we call it, kind of freezes at 20, and then you revert to side out scoring. So you have to serve to get any point after 20 points.
And we saw that this worked in the favor of BLQK in Austin earlier this year, where Florida Smash was up in 2 different games, correct? And they froze at 20, and BLQK came from like 12 or 13 or 14, rallied all the way back and won.
So yeah, not Newport, Dreamland, the first event of the 2022 season. Yeah, we had a freeze at 20 points. So
Yes.
the leading team froze at 20, and then that trailing team remained on rally scoring until they got to 20 points. So
Yes.
yeah, you're right. It allows for like a really great comeback, but is that best for viewership? Did the players like that the best? I don't know. What do you think?
Because there's a few things they can do here, which is they did that. Then they did in Newport and Columbus, the first team to get to 20 froze there. The team they were against then froze at 18.
Yeah.
Which does, like, if you have a head start at 20, you earned that.
Yeah.
You should have the advantage to win the game at that point.
Yeah.
And I think with both teams freezing at 20, it does take away. They're still in the lead, but it does take away, like I think we saw with in Austin at Dreamland, we saw there were a lot of side outs that happened where Florida Smash did not close the game, and then BLQK came back because they scored every time that, every time the rally was won.
Yeah.
And so the 2018 freeze is probably a little more fair for the team that has gotten off to an early start or the early lead there. And then there's also maybe the first team that gets to 20, both teams now freeze. But I think that that's a little bit tricky because now we're getting into some long games that are not predictable with the time. And if we're going to be on TV in front of national audiences on prime time, we can't do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think after the Dreamland event at the beginning of 2022, I think they realized that, hey, I think we might need to adjust the scoring. Having both teams freeze once they get to 20 might not be the best option. So I think Brooks and Steve may have talked to players, team owners, and that's why they adjusted it for the Newport event and kept that same format for the Columbus event. I think you're right. Giving that leading team who reaches 20 first, I think giving them, they earn that advantage.
Yes.
Freeze them at 20. That trailing team, freeze them at 18. Make them serve to earn their points. I think it makes you can still kind of predict the time frame in a game to 21. I think the players enjoyed it. And I think it was a great viewership, spectator experience.
And you were at both, you were at the Dreamland event and the Newport and Columbus event?
Yes, I was at all three events.
Did you notice a difference there with that scoring really, or not especially?
I mean, it was an adjustment from an officiating standpoint to remember, okay, all right, this team's at 20, this team's at 17, okay, they're still at rally. It was just an adjustment to figure out the scoring. But from a player standpoint, it looked like the players enjoyed it. And I don't think, I think the commentators, the MC, whoever was explaining things to the spectators at the event, I think they all did a really great job of explaining the scoring system that MLP was using. So I think everyone, understood it.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and obviously like that, we probably got like a pretty extreme example at Dreamland with Florida Smash versus BLQK. It's not always going to be like that, and it always hasn't been, but to have two games like that and like that back to back, because of the 2020 freeze was interesting. Yeah. Let's talk about serve for a little while, because I know there's a new proposition in the serving department for Major League Pickleball and with rally scoring. And I know that in the past, rally scoring, you stay on your, what's the term there, on your side?
On your side, yep.
Which side? Isn't there, you had a word for it.
Oh, I guess your default side.
Your default side.
Yeah.
So once you serve from your default side, I'm on the right. I serve on my default side. We win the rally. I now hand the ball to my partner.
Correct.
Who serves from the right-hand side. That's how it's been.
Yes. Yeah. So how it was this season, players stayed on their same sides.
Yes.
So on our score sheet, we have an odd side player and an even side player. Left, right, however you want to say it. But on our score sheet, it's odd and even.
And then you also have an odd player.
Yeah, that would be you, and your name is always right there.
Always right there under the third category. Odd. Okay.
So honestly, this has been the easiest format. So Tyson, you're the right side player, the even side player. I'm the odd side player. I've got names written down. You serve, you stay on your same sides. Okay? Easy cheesy.
Easy cheesy.
Easy cheesy, lemon squeezy. But with that, you're always going to be serving to the same person.
Yes.
Okay? Because we don't change sides. If our score is odd, the left side player is going to be serving. If our score is even, the right side player is going to be serving. Okay?
Right.
Now, teams did have the option to switch sides. So say in mixed doubles, say Tyson's got a really freaking amazing serve, and he wants to serve to the other player just to try and switch it up and get some points, or maybe get that final game-winning point. So you can switch sides during a timeout or during an end change. So there's a possibility of 3 times, because each team has 1 timeout available, and then you switch ends one time at 11 points during a game. So those teams just need to notify the referee and say, hey, we're going to switch sides. And then you have the opportunity to try and switch it up. So, but this season, not a lot of teams utilize that as a strategy. But it is an option. But for the most part, the same server is going to be serving to the same receiver throughout the game.
And there's been a proposition here to change that.
Yep.
And part of it is that, sometimes you're on a heater with the serve. You're feeling good. You're in a streak. You're having a good run. So the proposition would be that if you're serving, you win the rally, you then serve from the other side. So at that point, you could probably, do a stacking format or just switch sides?
Correct. Yeah. So if you serve and you win the rally, you and your partner switch sides. So that same server is going to continue to serve. So and that's an option. You can either switch sides with your partner or you can stack.
Okay. So as an official, do you like this proposition?
Well, it's going to be a little more difficult to keep track of, okay, all right, well, they came in at this point, they scored this. It's going to be a little more difficult to track, but I think from a viewership standpoint and from the game, I think it'll be a little more interesting. I mean, wouldn't you like to see, a different server receiver combo?
Yeah, well, and also, if somebody's serving really strongly, you love to see them, win 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a row with them as the server. So, which led me to my next question. So, as an official, it's definitely going to be one more thing you got to keep in your mind. As a player, do you like this?
Yes. I would think as a player. I mean, I haven't tried this new format, but I think because once you're on a roll with your serve, I mean, stay with it. Let me keep going, coach. Let me keep serving. So I think players would like it.
Yeah.
When do you think this could be implemented? Potentially
maybe
next
season. The 2023 season. We'll see. I mean, they're playing around with some, they want the best viewership. They want the best for the players. So I know they're trying to make it, do a couple little tweaks to make it amazing.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the beauty of where we're at now with the sport, with it still being young and popularizing it, is that we do get to tweak it a little bit here and there. And I'm assuming there's a test team at Dreamland playing every single variety that they have come up with to optimize the player experience and the viewer experience. And it's nonstop. And I want to figure out how to get that job because I need to play more pickleball.
Well, first of all, you need to move to Texas.
I know.
I'm already
Can I do
in
that?
Texas.
Do you think she's already there?
Are you really?
Just kind of far. I'm in Dallas, but
What's the commute?
Yeah, 3 hours.
It's probably to Dreamland, like 3.5 hours.
That's fine.
No,
to just do like
pop
4
on
or 5 times a week.
Southwest flight. Yeah, totally
No
manageable.
shit, I didn't know you were in Dallas. Woo-hoo,
I know.
Welcome to Texas.
I know.
And-
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just east of Dallas, so.
Oh
not
my
too
gosh, no
far.
way.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm actually in Rowlett, which is just east of Dallas.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to get together and play. I have not very many people to play with
absolutely.
in Dallas. So
Oh, that's so exciting for you too. Oh, so cool that you guys have games scheduled with each other now. That's so exciting.
Nice,
But
and
she
we'll make
still
sure
won't
to
give me any
include you in
favors
our
on the
group
reffing
thread.
side.
Yeah. Put me on the group chat so I could at least know that I got left out.
Yep, exactly. We'll send you pictures.
That's cool.
We'll just Photoshop
That's-
your face in between.
Yeah,
a
that's
bunch of
cool.
selfies.
I'll just try to figure out something that will make you guys jealous too while you're over there playing pickleball.
I'm sorry,
Well, I'm-
Tyson.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I live in Arizona. I chose to be here. It's not,
I feel
it's not
so
your
bad
fault.
for you. It's a really
I know.
tough life you live, Tyson. I have to be in beautiful Arizona every day where it's warm and sunny every single day. And
It is.
beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we had rain yesterday, but it's beautiful. You want rain in Arizona because it happens so seldom that a rainy day, you're just like, yes, let's go outside and stand in the rain for a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Nice.
Okay, I think we touched on everything and even more than we wanted to. And I'm excited to see what we have in 2023, what new serving things they have implemented for the league, because those are exciting things to, watch and keep tabs on. Courtney, I want to thank you for being here, first of all, giving us your time and your energy, and also thank you for dealing with some of those feistier pickleball players on the court. I know that that's not easy, and your spirit is still so positive because, like, I can look at people sometimes and my daughter will be like, why are they crappy? I was like, oh, because they had to deal with feisty people. Their job forces them to deal with people like me all the time. And eventually that's wearing on you. So,
Yeah.
But most pickleball players are very fun to be around.
Exactly. And I was just going to say that luckily those feisty players are few and far between. I ref for fun, and most pickleball players are freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, those feisty meatballs are few and far between.
Sometimes they're fun to deal with if they're few and far between. Like,
You should start wearing like a body cam, like just to like document.
start a
these
YouTube channel.
Yeah, call it the spicy meatballs of pickleball. I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Just
Oh my
like
God, that
full
would be
24.
interesting.
Then you capture like the genuine moment where they're like talking to you at you, but it's like the body cam. I think you're.
That would be interesting.
You can
I
make a
was
whole
gonna
Netflix series out of this.
Just carrying like a packet of gold stars. And then when somebody's like, I didn't default on that earning, it's like, you did, but it seems like you really upset about something. Here's a gold star for an attempt. That's worth a gold star. Just wear that proudly.
Wear this proudly.
Tried,
Or
but
give
you
them
failed.
Yeah, you tried, but you failed. But still, here is the participation medal for it. It's a gold star.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Yes.
say, or just bring some fake medals with you and be like, "Here you go, buddy.
Yeah.
You get your medal
Yeah.
still. This plastic
Well-
piece of metal that you're playing so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope your day gets better.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly, you're having a worse day than I am. You need this more than me.
Oh my God! Here, before we sign off, I have to tell
Yes.
you the funniest story.
Oh, my expectations are so high right now.
No. I was referee coordinating, so I also support tournaments as a referee coordinator, and we had to modify a format. We got rained out, whatever. So we went to a single elimination, 1-15 game, and this team lost. And he comes up, he goes, who's in charge here? I was like, them?
Yeah. Somebody else.
Yeah, not me. And he goes, this format starts dropping F-bombs. This format is stupid.
What's an F-bomb?
Oh, I can't. This is a wholesome podcast.
It really
is. This is a wholesome podcast.
Carry on.
And I go, oh, you're angry. Because at first I kind of thought he was joking. He goes, yeah, I'm effing angry. This format is stupid. Da-da-da-da-da. And so he starts walking away. And, a lot of times these players they just need a pat on the back. And I go, hey, man, I hope your day gets better. He turns around and he flips me off.
No
I'm not
way.
Kidding. I'm not kidding.
That's
true story.
Hilarious.
And I was like,
oh my God.
Man, and I'm not witty enough, I'm not quick enough to come up with a comeback, but if I was, this would have been my comeback.
Let's hear it, because I do this too.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh man, if only I would have said this in that moment. Next time.
This is what I would have said. I would have gone, hey man, never mind. I hope your day doesn't get better. I hope you get paper cuts between each one of your fingers.
Ooh, and toes.
Oh.
Yeah. You like that?
Ouch.
Yeah, because that's painful.
That
Hit
is,
him
and
where
it's
it
very
is.
harsh. You're very spiteful. Players, do not get on Courtney's bad side.
And don't flip me off.
Yeah,
Don't
ever.
flip me off. Man.
And with that, we're not going to top that, right?
No, that's
Everybody,
it.
show
That's
off
it.
your birds. We're signing off.
Here we go. See ya.
We're gonna
Thanks everyone
flick
for
them the
tuning in.
Bye.
No, we're not, Michelle.
No.